In this land of ancient traditions and sacred honor, I stand not just as a warrior, but as a symbol of loyalty, discipline, and bushido, the way of the warrior. But what do I truly experience? Not in battle, but in the quiet moments of daily life. Walk with me into 16th century feudal Japan, and together we will live a day in the life of a samurai. In my world, the day begins long before the first rays of sunlight touch the rooftops of the castle town. The world is still, the air crisp and silent, broken only by the distant call of a morning bird or the faint rustle of bamboo in the wind. For me, this is a sacred hour, a time when my mind is clear and my spirit is most receptive to discipline and purpose. I serve a powerful daimyo, my feudal lord, and I awaken quietly in my tatami-matted quarters. The room is cool, the scent of rice straw and old wood filling the air. I sit up slowly, mindful of my movements, already practicing the self-control that defines my way of life. Each morning, I remind myself that my actions, no matter how small, reflect not only on me, but on my family and my lord. There is no luxury here. My room is sparse, furnished only with what is necessary: a futon, a low table, perhaps a small altar for my morning prayers. This simplicity is not a sign of poverty, but a deliberate choice. It reflects my discipline, my rejection of excess, and my focus on what truly matters: duty, honor, and self-mastery. I dress with care, layering linen and silk garments, each piece a symbol of my status and my role. The act of dressing is itself a ritual, performed with quiet attention. I bind my hair into the traditional chonmaj top knot, a mark of my class and my commitment to the warrior's path. Every fold, every knot, is a reminder of the order and discipline that govern my life. Before my day's duties begin, I turn to my most prized possessions, my swords. The katana and wakizashi, together known as the daisho, are more than mere weapons to me. They are the heart of my identity, symbols of my honor and my readiness to serve. Each morning, I polish them with meticulous care, using soft cloths and special oils to keep the blades gleaming and free of blemish. To me, these swords are not just tools of war. They are extensions of my soul, forged with the same discipline and dedication that I strive to embody. When I hold them, I feel the weight of generations, the legacy of those who came before me, and the responsibility to uphold their honor. The act of cleaning my blades is more than maintenance. It is a meditative ritual. In these quiet moments, I reflect on the day ahead, centering my mind and spirit. The rhythmic motion of cloth on steel becomes a form of moving meditation, a way to cultivate focus and gratitude for the tools that protect my life and my honor. Any sign of rust or neglect would be a mark of shame, a dishonor to my training and my ancestors. For me, discipline is not just a matter of public duty, but a private daily practice, one that begins each morning in the quiet before dawn, with reverence, reflection, and unwavering attention to the smallest details. For me, the path to mastery is built on both physical and mental discipline. My day begins before the sun rises, in the stillness of early morning, when my mind is clearest and the world is quiet. In these moments, I sit in silent meditation, focusing on my breath and posture, seeking to cultivate inner calm and unwavering focus. This mental training is as vital to me as any sword technique, for I know a distracted mind can be as dangerous as a dull blade. After meditation, I move to rigorous physical training. I devote hours to perfecting kenjutsu, the art of the sword, practicing every movement until it becomes instinct. The courtyard echoes with the sound of wooden swords clashing as I train alongside my fellow samurai. Sometimes I take up the yumi, the longbow, practicing kyudo, the disciplined art of archery. Here, I learn that precision and patience are as important as strength, and every arrow I loose is a lesson in control. Even in times of peace, I never abandon my training. The threat of conflict is always present, and I believe readiness is a virtue. I perform drills alone or with comrades, sometimes in full armor, sometimes in the quiet of a misty morning. The repetition of these exercises is not just about building muscle memory, it is about forging a spirit that does not waver, no matter the circumstances. Yet, I know that strength without wisdom is a dangerous path. After training, I take time for reflection. My sword is not just a weapon, but a symbol, a reminder of the responsibility that comes with power. I listen to the elders as they pass down lessons, sharing stories of honor, loyalty, and the consequences of unchecked aggression. Through their words, I learn that true mastery is as much about restraint as it is about skill. To balance my life as a warrior, I turn to the arts. I study calligraphy, where each brushstroke becomes a meditation on form and intention. I read ancient scrolls by candlelight, absorbing the wisdom of Confucian texts and the poetry of past masters. In quiet moments, I compose my own verses, expressing the fleeting beauty of nature and the impermanence of life. These practices refine my mind and nurture my spirit, reminding me that there is more to life than battle. I strive to be both warrior and scholar, seeking harmony between strength and intellect. In the dojo, I'm fierce and disciplined. In the study, I'm thoughtful and curious. I value discussions with my fellow samurai about literature, philosophy, and strategy as much as I value sparring matches. This balance is the foundation of bushido, the way of the warrior. As the morning progresses, I may prepare for chanoyu, the tea ceremony. This ritual is a world apart from the battlefield, yet it demands the same attention to detail and presence of mind. When I enter the tea house, I leave behind the concerns of rank and status, stepping into a space where simplicity and humility reign. The tea ceremony is not merely about drinking tea. It is a carefully choreographed performance where every gesture is deliberate and meaningful. As I prepare the matcha, arrange the utensils, and communicate silently with my guests, I find opportunities to practice mindfulness and respect. In these moments, I cultivate patience, grace, and self-control. The slow, graceful movements of the tea ceremony mirror the discipline of my martial arts. But here, the goal is inner harmony rather than victory. The ritual becomes a meditation in motion, a way for me to find peace amid the demands of duty. Even the most powerful among us seek clarity in the simplicity of the tea room. Here, surrounded by the quiet beauty of nature and the gentle rhythm of ritual, I find a moment of stillness, a reminder that true strength lies not only in the sword, but in the serenity of the mind. In my life as a samurai, I am not merely a warrior. I am a retainer, bound by a code that shapes every aspect of my existence. My world revolves around service, discipline, and an unwavering sense of duty to my lord, the daimyo. This relationship is the foundation of everything I do, defining my actions, my honor, and even my fate. My loyalty to my daimyo is absolute. I am expected to carry out his orders without hesitation or question. This loyalty is not just obedience, it is a sacred trust, a bond I would never break. My lord relies on me for everything, from leading military campaigns to managing the daily affairs of his domain. In return, I am granted land, status, and the right to bear arms. My duties are as varied as the lands I protect. One day, I might oversee the rice fields, ensuring the harvest is plentiful and the peasants work diligently. This responsibility is crucial, for rice is not only our staple food, but also the currency of power in our land. Often, my presence alone is enough to maintain order and productivity among the villagers. The next day, my role may change completely. I might escort a messenger carrying vital information through dangerous territory, or confront a suspicious stranger in a remote village. Sometimes, my duties are darker, tracking down traitors or enforcing my lord's justice with a swift and unforgiving hand. My life is one of constant vigilance, where peace and violence are separated by only the thinnest of lines. For me, dishonor is not an option. Loyalty is everything, more important than wealth, comfort, or even my own life. Every action and decision I make is weighed against the code of bushido, the way of the warrior. This code demands courage, honesty, and above all, loyalty to my lord. To fail in these duties is to lose not only my honor, but my very identity. If I were ever to betray my lord, whether by intent or accident, the consequence would be the most severe imaginable. Seppuku. This ritual suicide by blade is both punishment and redemption. It is my way to take responsibility for my actions, to show my sincerity, and to restore honor to my name and family. The ritual is performed with solemnity and precision, witnessed by my peers, who will later report my act to the daimyo. Seppuku is a horrific act, yes, but to me, it is the only way to atone for failure or betrayal. Pain and fear are secondary to the need for honor. Every detail of the act is steeped in ritual, from my clothing to the presence of witnesses. It is the ultimate expression of loyalty and courage. Even in death, I serve my lord and uphold the values I cherish. Contrary to what many believe, my life is not spent entirely on the battlefield. In truth, I devote much of my time to managing estates, resolving disputes among villagers, and overseeing the daily affairs of my lord's domain. I act as an administrator, judge, and mediator, using my authority to maintain peace and order. My education goes beyond martial skills. I study literature, calligraphy, and the art of negotiation. Yet no matter how peaceful my duties may seem, I always carry my swords, a constant reminder of my readiness to defend my honor, my lord, and my way of life at a moment's notice. My katana is more than a weapon. It is a symbol of my status, my discipline, and my unbreakable loyalty. In every action, from the mundane to the extraordinary, I strive to embody the spirit of duty and loyalty that defines my age. As dusk approaches, I return home. If I am married, I join my family for a modest dinner. Rice, fish, pickled vegetables. Our conversation is respectful. I teach my children humility. My sons, who will one day become samurai, watch me with silent reverence. Before I rest, I often write in my personal scroll, reflections, verses, or philosophies. My mind is never idle. Even in times of peace, I continue to sharpen my spirit. My life has always been shaped by structure, honor, and the ever-present shadow of death. Each moment I prepare, whether for battle, for duty, or for the possibility of an honorable end. As the Edo period brought long years of peace, I found my role changing, but my spirit remained steadfast. Even as the Meiji Restoration dissolved my class, I know that what we stood for endures. You can still find my legacy in your culture, in your philosophy, and in the spirit that lives on. To be samurai is to live with purpose. I carry a constant awareness of life's impermanence, and I strive each day to rise above it. This is more than just a day in my life. It is a life of discipline, service, and unyielding honor. I hope you found value in walking beside me through my world. If my story inspired you, honor me with a like, comment, or by subscribing for more tales from history. Until we meet again, walk with honor.